Knowledge, bet it's best you soak it in. I'm a prophet to them scholars, got them chakras opening. Got them fixing up they octaves, now they truly focused in. I'm seeing 2020 visions. Daily manifesting on my premonitions. Best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash, gotta make your own decision. My word is James Bond, I stay on the mission. Coming for the top position, ain't no competition, man. Pull up in the top, it's missing, fuck the opposition, and all that lane switching, this is what the game is. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show, this so perennial. Do this for my millennials, I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show, this so perennial. Do this for my millennials, I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know.
Okay, Coach, coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
Ready, 180, 55, 65, 65.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Ready. Check 50-50. Check. Crunch.
Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1.
10. Lucky. Slam. No.
Out of the gun, Stafford. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Ben Gideon in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
I'm coming after you. Bang.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Load it. Load it.
They run again on first down. Cook. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
It's 2nd and 8 at the 43-yard line.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's a bootleg with Rivers. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground. Out at the Lions' 38-yard line.
And the Vikings first down.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 38. Cousins gives way to Cook. In on the tackle, Jalen Reeves-Maybin.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Throwing is Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. 12 yards there and a first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Motion.
51's the mic. Let's put him on the buses.
First down. Here's Cousins. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs. His third touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now the former Terrapin, this is Ty Johnson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Big 20. Here we go.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And that's knocked away and incomplete. The former Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr there to jar it free.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing.
At their own 22-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. Throwing, Cousins. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They'll run it. Here's Cook, and he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
On second down now, it's Cook, and he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And the Lions going with an extra DB here on 3rd down.
Let's go.
Gun.
Let's go right here. Go, Mike 51.
To throw, Cousins. And that's caught by Smith. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 33.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Cousins now 3 out of 5 since taking over as he's given his guys a first down.
Check it back. Check it back.
Now Cousins. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line.
Kill.
Back to the ground, Cook. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he's all the way down to the 13-yard line. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10.
Watch the safety creep.
From the red zone now, Cousins being chased out left. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
At the 12-yard line.
He can't hang. He's not going to get me. Hey, Ken.
Now Cook. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Well, this drive, they're 2 for 2 on third down conversions, but they need 7 yards here. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Forced out to his left. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle, right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean? Break up? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea. Every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
40 got.
Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added on to their lead, but that was a drive that was so long it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after they get
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And he'll take this back all the way up past the 45-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Stafford now to throw. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. First down, Lions on a pickup of 13.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Check. Number 20. He's 59. Zero. Watch the screen. Pass.
A first down carry here for Johnson. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
At the Vikings 33-yard line.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
That's the way.
Now Stafford. Catch is made by Hawkinson, the tight end. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 20-yard line.
And the game just keeps evolving. Big guys running those corner routes, so difficult to cover.
The Lions into the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Now Stafford. Screenplay, Johnson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1.
First down. First and goal at the 4-yard line.
The Lions into the red zone for the first time. They've got a 1st and goal just inside the 5. To the air again, Stafford. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Once more, he was trying to get it to Kenny Galladay, but it'll be 2nd and goal.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. On 2nd down, Johnson. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Can this Vikings D hold up one more time? 3rd and goal.
Monday. Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4.
Here's Stafford. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Mike Hughes. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
They'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we have reached halftime with our score 10-0 as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half.
Come on now, let's go.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Cousins. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. Ah, yes, the old tip drill works to perfection there.
Ah, you're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while, to have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski. Okay, Oski was an interception.
For different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a
too many syllables.
Yeah. You want to get it right down and go. Oski is really the preferred word.
Oski. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. They start the drive with Cook. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. That toss play right, we know it's one of the successful plays they have in their arsenal, and they showed you why there.
And remember, in order for it to be successful, because it's a little bit of a slower developing play, those blocks at the line of scrimmage have to be kept, have to be held, so that the runner can get to the corner and turn it upfield.
On the ground, it's Cook. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Off the play fake, Cousins. Complete, Smith has it. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
On play action, Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked by Tracy Walker. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Let's go, D.
After the interception, here's Stafford. He finds his man Johnson. And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
At the 7-yard line.
Set. 180.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing.
To throw is Stafford. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Stafford. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay. They're inching closer and closer here to the wrong goal line.
When you're backed up like that, all you're trying to do is make sure you don't give up a big play, right? You don't miss an assignment that really gets you into more trouble.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes this out and puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. They go to Johnson again. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there and a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. Escaping the pressure right. And that's going to be incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. Off of play action. Here's Stafford. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 15 yards on the play. First down.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Now a first down throw. Stafford. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that said.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack.
4 down, 4 down. 42's the mic, boys, 42. 42's the mic. Here we go, DJ. Receiver. Showing that.
Cousins now. Going deep for Diggs. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Come to my work.
One.
51 the mic, boys, 51.
Hey, receiver.
Hey, it's just me and you.
Bravo.
It's just me and you. Hey, Mike 51.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And his pass is intercepted for the fourth time today. Eddie Jackson picks it, and this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down. Stafford now, perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's first and 10. Throwing is Stafford. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, you'd have to think this is where you want to start taking some time off the clock.
Oh, definitely, because you got the lead, right? You take a good look up there and you say, okay, what do we need to do here? Well, you're not in full-out protect mode. You want to make sure you run it, throw it safe, take some time off, and eat it up.
Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3.
Watch safety creeping.
On second down, this is Madison. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Check, Mike 42. Down to lose one.
Play fake. Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory.
Let's go.
A huge play there, Cousins to his tight end Rudolph, and even 50 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A toss to Cook. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Not quite the success they had last play. This one goes for 3 yards. Well, no doubt here in the 4th quarter, this is a huge defensive series.
Hey, they can read the scoreboard. They realize if they give up a field goal here, this game might be out of reach. They understand the stakes and are playing accordingly.
On 2nd and 7, Cousins, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and
The Lions on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now it's Stafford. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Isaiah McKenzie hauling it in. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 30. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
Let's go, let's go!
So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Watch the ship, watch the ship.
On first down at Stafford. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
This is caught, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Isaiah McKenzie, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead. They go for just one here as it's up and good. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
Ready?
You.
Throwing here, Cousins. Open man here is Conklin. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
I'm coming after you.
Cook on the toss left. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That one good for 33 and a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to...
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
And the kick makes it through, but flags come flying in as well. It appears we're going to get a roughing call tacked on. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Stafford on third down. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. The offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3. Here we go on 4th. Stafford. And this is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Victory formation time for the Vikings as they'll take a knee here.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 33-yard line.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I'll bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense that it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for Minnesota, it's an important win in terms of staying in the postseason race as they move to 6 and 4. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Detroit, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.